So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to replace our TB6612 motor controller on the breadboard at the top row here before we wire it up. And we're going to put 2 wires here in order to make a ground or a power bus along the bottom 2 rows of our tiny breadboards. The next thing we're going to do is to wire our motors. So to wire our motors, we are going to put the red of the left motor on the far left motor A. Then we're going to put the black of the left motor on the other terminal of motor A. And then we're going to put the black of the right motor on motor B. And the red of the right motor on motor B. For the wiring, note that for the right motor, it is actually red on the right, black on the left. And for the left motor, it's red on the right, black on the left. And you know it's working correctly when you upload the demo code if the first movement the robot makes is forward. If it makes any other movement, that means one of the motors is wired backwards and you need to switch red and black. Our motors all wired up. And the next thing we are going to do is to add a ground wire. And the ground wire is going to go from G and D on the Uno to ground. All right, for our next step, we are going to attach our 3 220 ohm resistors as well as our 3 LEDs. So each resistor is going to be down here in our ground bus, like so, and then staggered one by one on the other end, which is where the LEDs are going to touch. Okay, so here are the 3 resistors. And now our 3 LEDs. The short leg, or the one where the cap has a flat lip, always goes to the direction of the ground. So there's our first one. So now we're going to need 3 wires, and these are going to connect to our 3 LEDs, which are going to be at 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so I am going to put the red at 5. I am going to put the yellow at 6. And I am going to put the green at 7. All right, the next step is we need to actually make our ground bus. So we are going to add a wire that connects ground on the Arduino Uno to the ground row where the 220 ohm resistors are connected, like so. All right, so the next thing we're gonna wire up is our power to our motor controller. So we're going to take a red wire from the 5-volt pin on the Arduino Uno, and we're gonna connect that to VCC on the motor controller. And then we're going to take the orange wire from VN on the Arduino Uno and connect that to VM, which is the first pin on the motor controller. Okay, and now we just need to do our 2 motors. PWM A goes to Arduino 10. So here we're going to go to 10. And then PWM A is the last row down here. And then we are going to have AN2. AN2 goes to 9. And AN1. AN1 goes to 8 on the Arduino Uno. Next, we are going to wire up PWM-B, which is on pin 11 on the Arduino Uno. Okay, and notice you skip 1 pin, which is the ground, and then you have PWM-B. We only need 1 common ground, so we don't need to do that one twice. And then we are going to have BN2 that is going to go in 12 on the Arduino Uno. And then pin 13 on the Arduino Uno is going to go to BN1. And at that point, we have completely wired up the robot, and we are ready to run our test motion code to make sure the robot is moving. Okay, BN1. There's BN1. Okay, make sure everything's in there good. Okay, show what this looks like. Remember, we skipped ground and we skipped standby because we've already connected ground on this side and we don't need the standby. All right, let's test out and make sure Lily's moving.